All right. Obviously, defensive tackle is a need for the Detroit Lions. They have an opportunity to take one at 6.
Mm-hmm.
But per conversations with Spinney, Chris, I mean, all of us in this room at least, I don't know where JB lands on this one actually, because he's part of the morning show sometimes too.
Yeah,
he said he got split personalities.
Yeah, he never says we with us.
Yeah, well, we, on the morning show talk about Kalijah Kancey.
It's crazy.
Well, you guys should already know, so we with you all.
Oh, with us?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you mean that, dude?
Yeah.
You're our Spike Lee.
Anyway, it is a need for the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
At least a position that they can upgrade at. I wouldn't necessarily say need if they feel comfortable with Isaiah Buggs or whatever, though. But Jalen Carter, there's character questions.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the video today. I don't think I sent it to you guys. I should have.
Yeah, you did. Him fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Finish you guys. Yeah. I think that was maybe what Todd McShay was maybe referring to.
That's what they sent. Somebody sent that to me a while ago. Fighting. He just goes up and talks shit to a guy.
Yeah.
I like that.
He kept escalating it.
Yeah, I want that out of my player.
And then you have the questionably drunk driving, speeding, racing situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's handled now too, by the way.
Yes.
2 misdemeanors, community service, whatever the hell else he's got to do.
Yeah.
So then, okay. So the people who don't want to take him, then you move on to number 2, which would be Kalijah Kancey, which I like.
Yeah, I'm cool with him at 18.
Thank you. And that's the argument there too.
Or if you trade back to mid-teens.
And that's where I'm at. Because like at 6, Adam makes a great point. If you like a guy, you should just take him whenever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you think he's going to be a guy, take him. Well, that's the thing is like there's some hesitancy there. Like not everybody thinks he's going to be the guy the same caliber Adam does. I think that he could be a pass rushing defensive tackle for sure, but he's an undersized defensive tackle, and that's why I think it was Jamcat this morning while I was watching the Morning Woodward show. It said that he's only going to be like a 3rd down defensive tackle in the same way that they want to specialize
Quite
with
possible.
James Houston.
Yeah.
And so say we don't take Tyree Wilson. This is we talked about yesterday. It's a very undersized defensive line at that point. And you're very susceptible to taking L's in the run game.
Yeah.
Because you got a small defensive tackle in Kalijah Kancey, small defensive end in James Houston, small linebacker in Malcolm Rodriguez, and then you're just praying for your secondary at that point, which I do think we got some dogs in secondary.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie.
Tracy Walker, CJ, GJ, Jeff Okudah, all very good at assisting in the run game. Yeah.
Big facts. Kirby actually.
Kirby is too.
Kirby put my man on the helicopter
Highlight.
highlight.
Yeah, Kirby will lay the
That was very
lumber
impressive.
on somebody.
That's what's up with that one. But what about later in the draft? Say they pass on Kancey because this is too early to take him. They don't want anything to do with Jalen Carter. By the way, news broke out that the Raiders have officially taken him off their draft board.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, why?
Right. They're done. They've done it too many times. They got burnt too many times.
Yeah, Henry Ruggs is sitting in jail right now.
They have a history of knuckleheads not working out. And remember, after they fired John Gruden, because everything that happened, they signed a black female
to the team president.
Yeah, team president. They're like, all right, we're going completely opposite direction here. Like, we know John Gruden hit the cancel culture trifecta.
Yeah,
went after black people, gay people, and women in sports.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hire a black female as our president.
We're hoping she comes out soon.
Here's the hoping, but she. Honestly, John Gruden really hit the trifecta of cancel culture.
He did hit the trifecta.
But they are going in a complete different direction, trying to rebrand themselves. So I'm not surprised by that at all.
Exactly. And then, all right, so defensive tackle. We've been on record of saying this is a loaded defensive tackle class. Say that passing the 2. Are you comfortable with what's left later in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, if you say you grab Brian Brisset at 18, that would be a good pick. We've talked about the guys in the 2nd round who can be there. Siaki Ika, Keanu Benton, Mozzie Smith, Javon Dexter. This is a very deep class of defensive tackles. So if you go out of the first 2 rounds without getting one, then I'd be a little upset. But I wouldn't question. I'm not going to start questioning Brad Holmes now, Robert California says. I'm not going to start questioning my drunk self now. So Brad Holmes will make the right decision. I highly suspect that he will take one in that first 4 picks because it is the biggest position of need for the Detroit Lions, and there are a lot of good ones that are going to be going in the first 2 rounds. So if they don't get one, I'd question it a little bit, but who am I to question him? Everything he does works out. So maybe they grab a 300-pound dude in the 4th round, 5th round. He turns out to be a stud.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I don't really have beef. I guess I never thought of it this way, but you truly have to consider these things. Brad has opened up the draft completely to where he could do whatever the hell he wants. I mean, the Detroit Lions are in that position where they kind of just go BPA. whether it's a cornerback. I saw Adam. I should have asked him while he was on the phone, but he had beef with the mock draft we did for WoodwardSports.com. Shout out to Bruno for writing that one.
Putting that together.
Yes, sir. But we took.
He was here today. I saw Roman today.
Really?
Yeah.
We took Devon Witherspoon. Mm-hmm. But like all these guys in the backfield, 1-year deals. What?
No,
yeah, I took Devon Witherspoon. Yeah, for sure. I'm going BPA. I mean, give me the best corner in the draft. I get that. Like, we're loading the secondary, but like again, Okuda's gone after next year. We don't know the future of CJ, GJ.
And maybe Mosey's a 1-year deal.
Exactly, and so on and so forth. But I really could see a situation or a world where like defensive tackles not even taken off the board for the Detroit Lions, at least like you said, like the second round. And to be honest with you, I was thinking about it too. Like I don't really have beef with it because I do like the prospect of a Mozzie Smith. Mm-hmm. I do like the prospect of Keanu. Like I like a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I like Mozzie Smith. That's who if you're not getting Jalen Carter, Brian Bisset, Calijah, Cancey even in the first round, Mozzie Smith would probably be my favorite to grab in the second round.
Yeah, so I'm not even like I'm no
like
longer
you said, freak athlete. Mm-hmm. Obviously is very good in stopping the run and has shown the ability to get to the passer. Like him and Aleem would be like interchangeable.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, I think my guy that I target for a late round pick if they do pass on the situation with Jalen Carter is I've been on the record, Keanu Benton.
Yeah.
And I think I told you guys like point blank period, like if you're looking for like a linebacker and lineman, a former wrestler, they usually get it done for you.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing when it gets down to there. We're
sure.
talking like former state champions and guys that like excelled at the sport too. They're nice picks to have.
It's all about center gravity, body control, being able to get under people like that. Wrestling helps out like that. Huge. That's my offensive line coach was the wrestling coach from my high school, and he used to talk shit to me. He'd be like, "Come wrestle, come wrestle."
You'd have been a monster.
Yeah, he told me, he's like, "I'll get you to." I was like, "Dave, I've been swimming for 7 years. I'm going to States. I'm not just gonna stop." He's like, "I'll get you to States next year."
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, yeah, he probably would, but I can't just quit.
Marcelo Ventura in the Woodward Sports chat. Mozzie with character issues as well, though.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, but again, I don't care about Jalen Carter's character issues. I don't care about Mozzie Smith's character issues. I draft both of them.
Yeah, and I mean,
Mozzie's was even dumber.
Yeah,
like it was
because he had the
paperwork issue, but it was.
I did that.
The thing that with Mozzie's was everybody knew about it. And nobody said anything. Mm-hmm. But that's not on him.
The big blue wall.
Yeah, that's what it was. Mm-hmm. I don't care about that.
Which I guess to be fair, like speaking of the big blue wall, did you guys? I didn't know about the Georgia thing until it came up in draft talks. Is that messed up? Did you remember hearing about that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely remember hearing about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, tragic altogether. But I think that the position could be addressed like later on in the draft, and we're gonna talk to a guy who knows football better than us, and I'm curious to ask him too. I don't know how much he's been monitoring the draft, but former coach, Coach JB from. Damn it, JB, what's the name of the show?
Last Chance U.
Yeah, Last Chance U.
Independence Community College.
Yep.
Yeah. Coach JB, Jason Brown will be joining the show. 1, experience with knuckleheads, obviously at Last Chance U. 2, from Compton himself. I'm very curious to see, and obviously he's a head coach. He's the only guy to give Independence Community College, I believe, a winning record until he arrived. Because I do want to continue to have the defensive tackle conversation. I also want to make sure we get JB in here too, but I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
If they pass on Carter, they pass on Kancey. They like the prospect of Kancey, but just not sure of it at 6. I do think there's something to be had there in Keanu Benton, as we said. I do think there's something to be had there in Mozzie Smith. Brees, I can't think of his last name. Well, I want to say Brees Young.
Brian Bisset,
thank you. I think I think he could be a beast. There's a little bit of speculation there with the injuries. That's a little bit sketchy. But when I watched him moving at the combine, I mean, that's a giant human being to be moving. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
If they pass on Carter, they pass on Kancey. They like the prospect of Kancey, but just not sure of it at 6. I do think there's something to be had there in Keanu Benton, as we said. I do think there's something to be had there in Mozzie Smith. Brees, I can't think of his last name. Well, I want to say Brees Young.
Brian Bisset,
thank you. I think I think he could be a beast. There's a little bit of speculation there with the injuries. That's a little bit sketchy. But when I watched him moving at the combine, I mean, that's a giant human being to be moving as like athletically as he was.
And watch that Mozzie Smith, like the stair drill. I remember Maz had it and he showed it to me. It's insane to see a guy that big to get up those stairs. That, like I said, he had a better grade than Aiden Hutchinson doing it. He's a freak of nature, dude. He's a freak of nature.
Mozzie Smith, I think he's like 6'1", 6'2", 330 pounds. Like if there's concerns about Kalijah Kancey in the run game, I think Mazi Smith answers that for you. Like you could be 6 foot at the defensive tackle position, where the concern with Kancey comes is he's 280 pounds. Now Aaron Donald 280 pounds as well, 287, closer to 300. But he's also a little bit bigger, and the highlight tape speaks a little bit louder, if we're being real about it.
We were talking about defensive tackles, and obviously we talked about how that is the biggest position of need for the Lions. And I see a lot of you guys in the Woodward Sports chat saying who you like, and that's what it is for me. There's not really a bad option when you look at all of those guys. Bryan Bresee, Kalijah Kancey. Obviously, I want Jalen Carter the most, but that will cost the highest draft pick. And then in the second round, you've got these Siaki Ikas, Keanu Bentons, Javon Dexter's possibly. He might be in the third. Or Mazi Smith. So this is something the Lions need to address. It is something they're going to address. And like I said, I'm pretty damn sure. I would almost plant my flag to say they're going to do it in the first 3 picks to get a defensive tackle. Because as they've done everything, they've grabbed every position of need except for a defensive tackle and a linebacker. And we know that the linebacking class is just as deep as the defensive tackle class. But a lot of those great linebackers you could get in the second round. Demarion Overshown, Dayon Henley, Jack Campbell possibly. So you look at those guys and those first round defensive tackles, there's really 3 of them that most people are mocking in the first round. It's obviously Jalen Carter, Kalijah Kancey, and Bryan Bresee. So whoever the Lions end up getting, I believe that Brad Holmes will get the right guy, and he's going to be a great fit to the team. But I'm just praying on Jalen, praying on Jalen Carter.
What is the basement of a Jalen Carter for you though? Like, because I was listening to something a little bit earlier, and they said there's no in between. He said he's going to be either really, really good or he's going to be either really, really bad. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I think one of the upsides of Jalen Carter is I don't see a really, really bad. I see at least really, Ed Oliver out of it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And
Ed Oliver, at the very least, he's still undersized himself. Like I see a Jalen Carter, he's obviously a mammoth of human beings. I see even maybe a little bit better than Ed Oliver. Do you see on the opposite spectrum, like how bad is the downside of a Jalen Carter?
I'm with you. On his base level, he is a giant human being who can stop the run. So other than basement being all of the character issues are true, he flames out and you don't get anything. If he does play and plays, stays in shape and all that stuff, but just isn't as good as people think, you're still getting a big body space filler in the middle that'll do what you need to be done out of a defensive tackle. So base level outside of flaming out and not playing in the NFL is a solid defensive tackle who can stop the run.
Do you have because I've never actually stopped to think about this stuff either. Today was actually the first day I thought about what is the negative of Jalen Carter. You know what I'm saying? How bad is it if
that's the negative?
Right?
The basement of Jalen Carter
still a space eater.
Is everything you think is true from these reports is true.
Yeah.
And he eats himself out of the league, or he doesn't show up. He's not tied in. He doesn't practice, and you waste the first round pick.
Yeah.
That is the basement in my mind. Because even if he isn't Ndamukong Suh or anything like that, if he is at practice playing, going hard, you're getting a good, solid defensive tackle, a giant body to put in the middle.
And that's why I want to move the conversation on a little bit to Bryan Bresee. And then, Chris, if you want to check, he said he's in there, but he doesn't see nothing. I don't know if he's got the blue screen or not. But Bryan Bresee, when I think of him, I see the same upside and downside. Maybe more so, a little bit more of an injury concern when it comes to the downside of a Bryan Bresee.
Yeah.
But I still see that the negative or at least productive version of him still being a space eater because he's a mammoth of a human being. Bryan Bresee, to give you some measurements, 6'5", 298 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
It's a big boy.
Yeah.
And again, if you guys watch it from the combine, and even just his play at Syracuse as well, the athletic human being. And I think if he's able to stay healthy, he can almost maybe even be the best defensive tackle in this class. In fact, before the Kancey conversation came up, I mean, Jalen Carter, we knew it was going to be Jalen Carter, but Bryan Bresee was mocked to the Detroit Lions as high as 6 in some drafts. Now, I had beef with it at that point, which I still do. I still don't think you take him at 6, but if he's there at 18, honestly, I might be running to the podium for that one. Because the downside of a Bryan Bresee, I really don't see one. He's still going to be a space-eating giant fucking human, 6'5", 298 pounds.
Yeah, for sure. You can't, guys like that don't grow on trees. You know?
I mean, to be honest with you, I get Kancey has everything you want as a pass rusher, but I think you have a little bit of that in Bryan Bresee as well.
His combine looked good. His pass rushing drills, his cone drills, the bag work.
Yeah.
Looked pretty good. He showed a lot of upside of potential pass rushing.
The only concern with him that I did have was like he played alongside Miles Murphy. Trenton Simpson was a part of that defense too, like extremely stacked defense, and like sometimes those situations make other guys look a little bit better, especially alongside the defensive line. But
also like normally the one who's making the other people look better is the defensive tackle.
yes,
He's the one that is drawing the double teams. He's the one that is clearing lanes for Trenton Simpson to make something happen. He's the one who's eating the double team so Miles Murphy can get single coverage on the outside. And you never know. I think he not at 6. I'm not taking Brian Bresee at 6, but 18 for sure. If you don't get Jalen Carter.
JB, there's a lot of people that take part of Woodward Sports shows. Obviously, there's four shows now that have kind of fallen into that Kalijah Cancey camp with Adam. Are you like where you at? Because you deal with the anti-Cancey at 6 with us, and you deal with the Cancey campaign, from 8 to 10. Where are you falling between all this stuff?
I'm falling between. You have two options here. One, I think 6 is extremely too early to sit here and take Kalijah Cancey. So if that is the Lions guy that they truly want, I would honestly try and trade back anywhere from that 7 to 12 position right there and then take him. Other than that, if I can't find a trading partner to trade back with, I don't want to say I'm settling, because I'm not really settling, because he will turn out to be at least a half decent player in my opinion, but I'm going after Jalen Carter then.